Fantasy Rap
with Austin and Ozzy.
Oh, I just love those boys.
Hey everyone, this is Fantasy Rap, and I'm your host Ozzy.
And I'm your co-host Austin.
You can find us on fantasyrap.com. That is fantasywrap.com. Everybody, welcome to week 16 of the fantasy season. We'll start off with how we did. How'd we did?
We did. Well, I'm in the consolation in the Yahoo League that we're in, and then I had a first round bye. We all did in the consolation.
Yep. I had a first round bye too, but I'm the top team.
Yeah. And then in the Dynasty
I'm
League
playing for money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In the Dynasty League with our friend Nick, I'm out. I missed playoffs in that one. Yep. Rocking the shirt. Out in that one. So now, like I said, I'm just trying to win so that I don't have my first round this coming rookie draft. So just trying to keep that to be a middle of the first round pick. So it's not a great pick. In the main Yahoo League, I cruised to an easy victory thanks to Travis Etienne and Henderson and Jamar Chase and CJ Stroud. I did get I had two goose eggs on my team and won by like 20, almost 30 points. So, yeah, thanks to Isaiah Likely and Evan McPherson.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, doing pretty good. And then in our Dynasty League, I think I pulled out the win in that one last night. So,
you were. It was within a point or something going into last night.
Yeah.
I
looked yesterday, and I was like, I thought that was the final score. It was less than a point. If that was the final, I would have won. Less than a point, but I had Tua and Jalen Waddle last night.
You took a chance.
Yeah.
Should have sat both of them.
Yeah. So, and went in there, and then now I get to go, I believe I face Honcho.
Oh, nice.
Next week, and he's already, his projection is like 200 and almost 203 points. So, yeah.
Well, we'll stay in that league. I finished with, I think, the worst record, own the first 4 draft picks, and then wherever Q ends up. And I threw up 200 points. I wanted to make a statement that I've got a decent team still, even though I'm in the losers bracket. 200 points. That was without T. Higgins. That was that was with leaving Chris Rodriguez in, even though I knew for some reason I thought I had taken him out.
Yep.
And I spaced it, and I knew he wasn't playing. He was out. Yeah. And I mean, I would have, if T would have played, or because I've got Trevion Henderson, I've got CJ, and I've got AJ Brown, and I mean, I've got good players.
Yeah.
It's just a question of after trading away all the players, my top players, I decided I'd lose.
Yeah.
In our Yahoo League, like we said, I have a bye. Top seed, so I don't know who I play this week. I don't think it matters. No. And then in our 30-plus year league, I got crushed, which, I mean, like I mentioned a minute ago to you, it's one of those leagues where the waivers reset every week, and so you can't carry, in a lot of leagues, like the Yahoo leagues, they carry, if you don't pick someone up and you were first in line, you're first in line next week.
Yep.
Because I was the top scoring team and the best record, I was 16th out of 16 teams every single week.
Yep.
Which, I know that's how it's set up. I just think it's wrong. Yep. I think we need to do something to incentivize people to not necessarily just go out there and use all their picks.
Yeah.
And if I'm a good team, I mean, I lost Kittle first week, so I had to drop Woody Marks.
Yeah.
I never had any chance at any of the guys who came along.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean,
And in a
yes.
16-team league,
Yeah.
it really sucks because you're never getting anyone. You're picking 16th.
Yeah.
It's just, something has to change with that. But,
Yeah.
I talked to the commission, and he's
say,
like,
put it
well,
up for a rule change.
we've done it this way forever, and I don't know that we're going to change it. And,
all it takes is for him to be in first place, next season and realize how much it sucks.
And that's the thing that sucks. In 32, 33 years, I have missed the playoffs 2 times.
Yeah.
So I have been in the top 8 so probably like 31 out of 33 years. Mm-hmm. In other words, I've won money every single year, save 2. And so I'm always one of the better teams, so I'm never getting picks. Yeah. I never get to pick anyone up. Mm-hmm. In 33 years, I've really not had the opportunity. Yeah. So it sucks, and I mean, it is what it is. I'll mention it, and if it doesn't fly, I might play one more year and then quit.
Yeah.
Because I'm at a point where it's frustrating. Yeah. Because you drafted a really good team, and you're getting beat by teams that don't. I mean, I had beaten them 2 times. Yeah. But, I had Jahmyr Gibbs, I had Pickens, I had Mahomes, and it really didn't matter anyway because we lock rosters Thursday. Mm-hmm. I couldn't have picked anyone up for Mahomes, and I didn't. I sat there and I waffled. But it didn't matter because I didn't win. So, moving on to our injuries, the aforementioned Patrick Mahomes, IR with the torn ACL.
Yep. I heard he had the
successful surgery.
His ACL, and they repaired a little bit of the LCL. Yeah.
Lateral collateral
ligament.
Yeah. Lateral collateral ligament.
Yeah. So they had to repair that.
I love these names.
Yeah. So
PCL, ACL, LCL, and MCL.
Yeah. So that puts him. He probably
8 to 9 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say he'll probably miss at least. I wouldn't be shocked if he misses the first 2 to 3 weeks next season.
Nah, I don't see
think
it.
So?
Nope,
Okay.
I don't see it.
Yeah,
I don't see him or Parsons missing any time next year. I mean, these are young enough guys that. I mean, even Brady at the same age, he tore his ACL. As I mean, he did it like the first week, and had a full calendar year, but he had complications and had to have it cut into. So I read an article that people would be surprised if he's not ready in 8 months. So
so
moving on.
Well, they're
they're done.
eliminated. So I mean, you got Gardner Minshew to finish out the season. So I mean,
he needs a haircut.
That's his look. You know? But I mean, that really hurts for your Rashee Rice. Kelsey had been decent as of late. So that really hurts. Some of those pieces that if you were able to make it into playoffs with Rashee Rice having to wait half a season or however long he was out, 6 weeks or whatever it was. And then you finally get him back, and he's playing really well right away. And then, I mean, they haven't been as good as of late.
Right.
But, that's a big piece that you're missing. So
Agreed. Next up, we've got Devontae Adams, likely out for the fantasy season. He should be back week 18 plus. So possibly week 18 or the first week of the playoffs where they may have a bye anyway. So, they may, if it looks like they're going to have the bye, I doubt they bring him back for week 18.
There's no reason to bring him back until playoffs. Make
Right.
sure he's fully healthy. I mean, they're rolling, and they just Stafford and Puka finally, they got back on track with just looking unstoppable. Kyron had a good game. Colby Parkinson, he's
Massive game.
is like 3. Just read a stat that in the last 6 weeks he's got 6 touchdowns, so he's getting more and more involved. So should see a little bit more of an uptick in usage with Devontae being out. So I mean,
I mean, the thing that's hard is, you look at our injuries, and all of these guys are guys that are going to potentially impact the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, these aren't just
huge. I mean, he's, on the right roster, helped carry teams, through the middle of the season when he was catching a touchdown or two
a week.
Every single week. It just
may not get the yardage, but he was catching a 6-pointer from a yard.
Yeah, he was, winning you weeks, and now you're going into playoffs, or had started him in the first round, and got a game. Obviously, he went into that game with, I think it was like a back injury or something like that. So, yeah, that's another, like Mahomes, another big piece that you're missing for fantasy playoffs.
Next up, we've got Bam Knight. I put him there as week to week with an ankle. What I read was it looks like potentially a high ankle sprain, and he could end up on IR.
Yeah, the high ankle sprains, either kind of the rule of thumb is you either miss no time or it's 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So, and they've got DeMarcado. Sounds like he'll be back this week. So.
Right, but he's not going to be their starter. It's going to be
Michael Carter. Yeah, either way.
With DeMarcado on third down. So
yeah, either way. I mean,
they're not really playing for anything. So
yeah.
Next up, we've got Christian Watson week to week with a chest injury. I've heard varying things on this.
Yeah.
The last I read was it's actually shoulder. Yeah. It could be the PC joint, which is still connected to the clavicle.
Yeah.
You've got the AC joint out on the outside, and I think the PC joint is further in. I'm not positive on that, but he could play.
Yeah, well, that was during the game you watched it, and immediately with how he was in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And immediately you think, okay, collarbone, he's done.
Yeah.
That's it for the season.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was a collarbone. I mean, we were watching it.
And it turns out after the game, or actually they took him into the locker room, it might have been during the game even, or it was right after they took him to the hospital to get checked out. And then,
but I think they had an x-ray in the stadium, and he was negative for a broken collarbone.
Yeah.
Which is why they then said it was chest.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah.
But it wasn't chest. It was...
Yeah. Ended up at the hospital, got checked out. Said that, because he's my number 2 receiver on my main Yahoo league behind Jamar Chase, because I don't trust Devonta Smith right now, and I'm really hope I don't have to try and put any faith in him this week. But, and that's just obviously that the injuries in the Packer game were huge, and things look pretty bleak now.
Especially with the number of people that got injured.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had Parsons, you had Zach Tom, you had Watson,
Jay Reed was limping around.
Yeah, and then you also had Williams, 33. Why am I?
Is it Evan?
Evan Williams. Yeah. And it's possible that none of them play, but it's possible that Williams, Reed, I'm not as worried about. Williams, Tom, and Watson all have the possibility of playing this week.
Yeah. I mean, and this is again, like last week and the week before, this is a huge game.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because the Bears, they went from the 1 seed down to the 7 after we beat them. Now they're back up at the 2 seed.
And we went from 2 to 7.
Yeah, so this is across the NFC has huge implications, this game.
But our best bet is to tie and have Pittsburgh beat Detroit, and then we're both in.
Yeah. I don't want to rely on Pittsburgh beating Detroit.
Well, but it is Rodgers, and I mean,
that's true. Yeah, one last revenge game against Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got R.J. Harvey, week to week with ribs. Again, broken. If one is broken, he might be out for a week.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just bruised, you can play through the pain. So it's possible he plays.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've got Devin Neal, likely out for the rest of fantasy with a hamstring.
Yeah, I mean, he's, the last, 3 weeks, really? 4 weeks even?
Three or four, yeah.
He's been a guy you can, a flex or RB2 even if you needed it. He's been playing well.
There's a guy I would have liked to have picked up, but no.
Yep. He was a pretty hot waiver ad when, I think, was it Kamara? Did he miss
he got hurt.
He did get hurt.
And then, he sprained his knee.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was like the pickup that week was Devin Neal. So,
well, I think it was, don't quote me on this, whoever's listening. I think that was the week, wasn't it, that Josh Jacobs was out and Emmanuel.
Oh yeah, it may have been about the same time.
Because there were two hot picks.
Yeah,
actually there might have been three in there, but not 16th. None of them lasted that long.
Yeah.
So they're gonna rely on I don't know who.
Yeah, because Kendra Miller got hurt earlier in the season. He was out for the year, so I don't know who they have. It's going to be Taysom Hill league winner,
right? Last, we've got Woody Marks week to week with an ankle. Didn't appear to be a high ankle sprain, so he could be back this week.
Yeah, he actually
came back in and played
he's
a little
always
bit more.
Like every week he takes a trip to the blue tent.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in and out of every single game every week.
Because we were talking about it last week.
Yeah,
when he went out, and I was like, "Oh, Woody Marks is out."
Yeah, and then you're like, "Oh, now he's
Woody
back."
Marks is back.
Yeah. So I mean, they had their, what would he technically be, their fourth string? I mean,
depends on how you look at it.
If you count Mixon as this, I mean, if
Mixon
he didn't disappear off the face of the earth, Mixon would have been the starter.
Right, Mixon, Chubb,
Marks.
No, there was someone else though, wasn't there?
Ogunbowale, Dare still there.
Yeah, I don't think it was Dario Ogunbowale.
Did they still have Dameon Pierce at the beginning?
They had
of the year?
Dameon Pierce. I thought there was one other guy that was listed above Marks that Marks ended up. I don't.
Yeah. So, anyways, last resort. Was his name Jawar Jordan or something like that? Came in and had like 107 yards, just out of nowhere.
Right.
I mean, they were cruising in that game.
So I mean, you pick up that 5th, 6th running back on that team and you run him and see what happens.
Yeah,
maybe Jawar wins you the game.
My opponent this week in the main Yahoo League picked him up.
Wow!
He actually picked him up.
Did he play him?
No, he picked him up yesterday or something.
Oh, okay.
So, I would love if he would, put him in his lineup.
Well, that was who you played last week, I thought you said. Oh,
no,
this week. Oh, okay, gotcha.
This week, yeah.
Because your opponent last week left all kinds of points on the...
Yeah, DJ Moore and I can't even remember who else.
Yeah, I think you said he picked him up and... That's this other guy, and I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
So moving on to our studs, we have Kyle Pitts plus 28.19. No surprise there. In this setting, he scored like 36 points.
Yeah, it was 41 or something like that. I think in our Yahoo League.
I think it was 40. I think it was 46 in our Dynasty League because I did play him.
Yeah,
because he was supposed to have a good
over
week.
150 yards. You get the multiplier. So
okay.
The little bonus for yardage and receptions and stuff. So
I have him listed as a waiver wire pickup for obvious reasons. He's often overlooked lately because he's never lived up to
his rookie year.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
he's been more involved over the last 3 weeks. I mean, he's been getting the targets because you've had Drake London out.
Right.
So it doesn't, Mooney's been non-existent all season, which, for me, Mooney was a late round target, just as a flyer.
Well, and last year I played Mooney because he came up with lots of points.
Yeah. So, this year Mooney's just been, he's out there, but he's just not doing anything. So Pitts has been, aside from Bijan, but Pitts has been the main one moving the ball when Drake London is out. So he's been over the last couple of weeks has had quite a few targets
Right.
and has had decent games good enough to where he's not winning you the week and he's not losing you the week, which he's could do before, where he would lose.
Well, this
you
past
weeks.
week he could have won you the week.
He could have won pretty much every week. So I mean,
Although you and I were talking, and I literally 10 minutes before game time, and I've got Kittle,
yeah,
and I was waffling back and forth. I'm like, man, Pitts has the matchup that he wants. Without everything is gonna go right, and I stuck with Kittle. It wouldn't have made a difference. Kittle still had like 16 points for me or something. I mean, yes, there's a 20-point difference. I lost by 30-something, so it really didn't matter. But I seriously considered, and I'm sure that had it not gone well, I would have been kicking myself.
Yeah. Well, he could have been the jump start to your week, because that was the Thursday night game, wasn't it?
Right. Yep.
Could have been the jump start.
Yeah.
The rest of your roster would have showed up a little bit more.
I had
confidence going into the week.
I've got 2 guys on the duds, and another guy who almost made the duds.
Yeah.
So next up, we've got Trevor Lawrence plus 26.84 on fire.
Yeah, I mean,
He couldn't do anything wrong.
no. Granted, it was the Jets.
Yeah.
And the Jets are just so lost right now. I'm in the Yahoo League. I'm trying to decide if I should play Buffalo against Cleveland, who Shador, was just horrible this week. And the Bears, I think, may have been I think they were the top scoring defense this week. It's between them or the Saints, who play the Jets. But the Saints, even in good fantasy defense matchups, they've only put up 10 plus points, I think, like 1 or 2 other times this entire season.
Yeah.
So it's kind of right now I'm rolling with Buffalo.
Well, and how'd you do with Jacksonville against the Jets?
Oh yeah, they were fine. I think I got like 12 points out of them. So,
but they gave up a lot of points.
Yeah,
20 points or whatever.
They gave up, here and there, but they got 3 picks and
Yeah.
a couple sacks and 3 and outs and stuff. So they made up.
Oh, you
for
get
it.
points for 3 and outs?
Yeah, 3 and outs and 4 fourth down stops.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
that sounds like,
No.
that sounds like way too many points for a defense.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
get some
like when
defenses
defenses are that relevant, which is why I was happy. Were you in the league, in the Dynasty League, when we dropped?
No, that
Kickers
was before I
and
got
so the
in.
year
Yeah.
before you came in, we dropped kickers and defenses
yeah.
because it just didn't make sense. And in the one that I want to start, we would have IDPs.
Yeah.
I can handle that. I can't have all of this fluff stat for a defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a half a point for a third down stop.
Okay.
You get a full point for a fourth. It's like 2 for an interception.
Yeah,
You know,
and interceptions and
pretty-
fumble
It's pretty
recoveries.
standard. It's just you get the little extra for a third down, or 3 and out. Sorry, 3 and out. But yeah. Anyways,
Wow.
Lawrence played out of his mind.
Yep.
I mean, he's been red hot lately.
Yeah.
The Jags have been. Honestly, right now the Jags might be top 3 in the league right now.
Yeah.
I think they're just a good team, because you look at the teams they've lost to, and it was Houston, Seattle, and the Rams, and then maybe Indy. I don't remember how many losses they have, but I mean, they're losing to the other top teams in the league right now, and they're winning the games that they should win, and then in games like against the Jets, where you're supposed to just absolutely dominate, they do. So they're a good team, and like I said, Liam Collins, he's got them playing really well, and Trevor Lawrence actually finally looks like this week looked like the number 1 overall, the next great Hall of Fame quarterback that he was touted coming out of college.
Yeah, still he needs a haircut too.
I think
that's his trademark. I know.
Well, no, I think Lawrence with any other hairstyle would, because he's. I mean, he's.
Go ahead and say it. He's not a good-looking guy.
Yeah, he's a bit of an ugly dude.
Yeah,
and
I'm
I think
trying to
if you
figure
cut
out
his hair. The hair, to me, the hair helps.
Oh, I don't know.
I think if he cut his hair, he would look so much worse.
And I'm sitting there
he'd
thinking,
look like. Did you ever watch King of the Hill?
No.
No? Okay. And you won't get it. Maybe whoever's listening will. But there's a character on the King of the Hills. His name's Boomhauer. Trevor Lawrence would look exactly like him if he got like the flat top, kind of buzz cut almost.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I think the hair helps him, and that's why I don't think he'll ever cut it.
I think there's only one person on the team that I know of that he's better looking than. Hunter.
Oh, Travis, yeah, that dude's an ugly dude too.
Sorry, Travis. I say it how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've got Travion Henderson, plus 21. A couple of big runs.
Yep.
I'm going to enjoy having him on my dynasty team next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I have him now, but
yeah, I in the dynasty league with Nick had the chance to draft him, but I ended up going Tet right in front of him. And that was even when I still had Malik Neighbors on that team. That was after I traded JSN to Nick.
Ooh.
But my receivers were, they're still stacked because I had traded Mahomes 2 years ago and got Puka.
Oh, yeah.
And a first, I believe, or a first and a second or something like that. I traded Malik and I got Rashee Rice and a second, I believe.
Okay.
And then I made a couple trades for. I got ETN in a deal, and then I got Brees Hall. That was that one that I sent Kendry Miller and my first next year,
Right.
for Brees Hall.
Yeah, which you do time and time again,
Yes.
especially if Brees goes to a good team.
Exactly. So yeah, but I, like I said, kind of, kicking myself a little bit because if I had taken Travion there, I don't think I would have traded Malik Neighbors away, and I would have had a just completely even more dominant stacked roster.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what New England does.
Yeah, because they just gave Ramondre a bunch of money last season.
But I'm sure there's an out.
Yeah, there probably is, but Vrabel still, and it'll be interesting to see if McDaniels is still there either, because with what the Patriots are doing, we know what happens when he becomes a head coach. It's never good. Never good. Ask Denver.
We'd be teams would be much better off with me as a head coach than Josh McDaniel.
I was listening to Pardon My Take, the Barstool, one, and Big Cat. He goes, what is up with these coordinators who are great coordinators and then go and be a head coach and they just suck at it, or they're miserable. They just are miserable, and then they go back to being a coordinator and they're great and everybody loves them.
And then they want to
they go back. I get you get more
coach.
money as a head coach, but like if you're one of the top offensive coordinators, you can demand more, a little more money.
Well,
and you only have to focus on the offense, or
and
the defense.
Herein lies one of the things in Green Bay is, everyone's sitting there touting Halfley, and watch the next 3 weeks and possibly into the playoffs, what he can do without Parsons and without man coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only thing that makes, it's personnel, but it's also the pressure makes the defensive backs capable of covering the areas properly and shutting teams down.
Yep.
And you saw what the two teams we've just played again. Chicago looked good in the second half, and because they adjusted, and Denver looked good in the second half because they adjusted, and then Parsons goes out, and we couldn't cover my grandma.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's around anymore, and they still couldn't cover her.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Travion. He's the home run guy. Up until that point, it was like, oh, great. I'm going to get maybe 8 points, and then we were here, watching the games because the girls were all decorating Christmas cookies and stuff, and he broke that first one, and I was fist pumping, and so yeah, he's that guy who can any play can just break it, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Amon-Ra St. Brown plus 18.38. This was a really, really interesting week with our studs. Big numbers.
Yeah.
Above projected. I mean, they went off.
Yeah.
So Amon-Ra, big game.
Yeah, like 140 something yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
And yet there's Jahmyr Gibbs minus 9.7.
yeah. Well, when you're against the best rush defense in the league in LA.
But Montgomery got a touchdown and decent yards.
Yeah.
It's just that's that same thing. And it's frustrating, like you've said. You go into a draft and I had the 4 pick, and I went Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Because he was there.
Yeah.
I'm not making that mistake again.
Well, I mean, you can look at it.
Any of these teams that do multiple running backs and switch them often, especially like they do.
Yeah. It hasn't even been as
like,
bad as it was last season, though.
I know.
With Montgomery.
I know.
But, yeah, it's... Yeah.
But it's tough because, I mean, he had some huge games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he won me weeks by himself.
Yep.
But when you need him, you like I've always said, you like the home run. I like the double. Yeah. I like this, steady across the season.
Yeah.
With less variation, and you want big weeks because they save you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to have your baseline, but you got to have these guys like a Travion. To me, I mean, and it's hard to, you got to get lucky on some of these.
Yeah.
I mean, luck is a lot of it,
It is.
But, if you get that baseline and it's a solid baseline, you're getting you're getting 12 to 15 from your RB1, you're getting 12 to 18 from your wide receiver one, points a week. And then you get a guy like Travion who goes off for 30-something points because he rips 2 50-plus yard rushing touchdowns, and then catches a couple passes. You're going to win every single one of those weeks unless you're playing against Kyle Pitts this week.
Right.
So, yes, it's the baseline, but it's also trying to find, or get lucky that you get that person that can hit the home run to put you over in a week. But I mean, Amon-Ra, he's just they were ahead at half. The Lions.
Well, and Jameson Williams had a good game too.
And then the Rams just completely took over. I mean, that defense is so good. If they keep playing this way, I mean, Rams,
it's hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many. I mean, look at where the Bills stand, and yet they have weeks like they did this past week where they were down and they just came back and
Josh
played.
Allen is
honestly,
if he doesn't win a second consecutive MVP, I don't know.
It'd be surprising,
But just
again, he literally stacks everybody on his shoulders and carries
It's
them.
literally most valuable player to that team. I mean, you look at the Bills without Josh Allen, they look like the Jets. I mean, they would be, in my mind, they would be a horrible offense.
Yeah,
because you have James Cook,
and that's it.
Nobody else, and the defense is just going to stack the box.
Right. Right. Agreed. Last stud we've got is Travis Etienne, plus 17 points.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of ribbing on each other before we started. Tootin is he's going to be out for at least 2 weeks. It sounds like could be basically the rest of the regular season. Had to have surgery on his finger, and he was an annoyance. In most games for ETN. I mean, most of the time, though, ETN still dominated touches and ended up with, the better fantasy day. But there's, like I said, it's like...
Well, Tutin's had a touchdown, 3 of the last 6 weeks or something.
He had one of... ETN had 3 receiving touchdowns. Tutin had one of Lawrence's, 5 passing touchdowns. So, I mean... Yeah, he's been an annoyance. So I think the rest of this, I mean, it's not a great matchup this week against Denver, but Etienne's going to get literally everything, and I think he's just going to be just stupid over the next couple of weeks. So
Okay. He can go and be stupid. Next up, we've got our duds. And so we had the studs were really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
The duds were not really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the studs were plus 28, plus 27, plus 21, plus 18, plus 17.
Yeah.
The duds are minus 12, minus 10, minus 8, minus 8, minus 8.
yeah.
So
There's no just
yeah, there were no horrible performances. There were just mediocrely bad.
well, if you were
Mediocrely? Mediocre.
Sure.
That's my new word.
You know, like again, we were talking. I had, at the beginning, I had Isaiah Likely this
Mm-hmm.
week. He was only projected at maybe 5.5, 6 points,
Right.
and got 0.
Yeah. So he's just down 5.5 points. Right.
You're like, oh, the points aren't that bad, but when you get 0, that's a complete dud.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
But,
You're not asking for a whole lot.
yes. Yeah.
You're asking for a few points out of someone, and then they fail you.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that, like I said, in my long-time league, 2 of my guys are on the duds list, and another one was a few points off of it, and that means that 3 of my 8 players were not here.
Yeah.
And we don't put defenses and kickers on here, so
Yeah. McPherson as well. He was a
So-
dud.
starting with Joe Burrow minus 11.91. Disinterested. There are rumors that he could be traded after the year.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals dug themselves in such a hole with the, don't get me wrong, Burrow, they make it to the Super Bowl. What was that, 4 years ago now? Against the Chiefs, and right? No,
They can't play against the
yeah,
Chiefs
that's
in the
right.
Super Bowl. That'd be the AFC Championship.
Maybe
I
they
don't
made
remember.
Was that the Rams? Was that the Rams Super Bowl that they won? I don't know. To me, that sounds right. Anyways, but he makes the Super Bowl, and obviously franchise level talent at quarterback. So you pay him. You've got arguably the best receiver in the NFL in Jamar Chase, so you pay him. And then they, rally, and there's Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. There's all the rumors. They're gonna sit out of training camp and preseason and protest until they pay T. Higgins, And so they pay T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Their defense is historically one of the worst defenses of all time. Their offensive line is probably right there too, historically. Probably
Although
they've got
Trey Hendrickson injured
yes,
this
injured,
year, but
even then, I mean, the Browns have Myles Garrett, who's a sack away from the record.
right,
And
and
they're on a 3-win team, a 4-win team. Yeah, you can have the shiny toy, but as a whole, even literally, historically, Myles Garrett is going to have the best sack season of all time, until either he breaks his own record or somebody in the future does. But overall, it's still a horrible team.
Right.
So, the Bengals, they just put themselves, that organization, I mean, that's one of those where, you wish, I guess I should say, I'm sure there's fans who are hoping that maybe some emails get leaked like they did in Washington that got the owner, where the league stepped in and said, you need to sell your team.
wait, that happened in Washington?
Yeah. So,
Dan Snyder got
yeah.
Wow.
maybe
he was on Ellis Island or whatever it was called. Epstein Island.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
So, I mean,
I have not seen pictures or anything, so I don't know.
yeah, allegedly. So for Burrow, again, how could you? He had the press conference last week where he basically was like, "Why would I do this if I'm not having fun?" And they asked him, I think it was this week or last week as well. They're like, "So is it like personal? Is it organizationally? Like what's going on?" And he just said all of the above. you're playing on a bad team. You have a line that can't protect you. You missed the majority of the season because that same old line couldn't protect you to begin, early in the season.
And your stud receiver goes out and spits at someone, and he gets
he
kicked out for
misses
a
a
year.
week,
And T. Higgins gets a concussion, and he's out for a week.
Yeah, so there's just he's just not having any fun, and you can tell. I mean, it was so apparent in that game. I mean, they just came out flat. I mean, he was missing. They had the replay where Jamar Chase, it would have been like a 70-yard touchdown if Burrow had just thrown the ball, but for some reason he held it and then thought he was getting pressured, so then he tried to dump it off to like their fourth tight end, and it was short and they had to punt. And every time they'd get within field goal range, it'd be a penalty, and then Burrow would take a 15-yard loss on a sack and knock them out of field goal range.
Or they'd go on
they
fourth, fourth down.
Yeah,
Yep.
So, I don't know. I mean, going forward, it's kind of scary. I honestly, during that game, I was like, you know what, for the fourth quarter, just put Flacco out there and just have him just rip it, So
Next up, we've got Jahmyr Gibbs, minus 9.7. We've already talked at length about that. I mean, everyone else got points, and he just was the odd man out.
Yep.
Quinshon Judkins, minus 8.4.
Yeah, I mean, against like I said, the Bears, fantasy-wise, I think were the top scoring defense. They could not move the ball. Shador was horrible.
32 interceptions.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. So
I think he just barely made it back to 50% on his passes.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, at one point we were looking at it, he was like 7 for 21 or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's horrible. So, if you can't challenge the defense down the field, they're going to shut down the run and make you try and beat them down the field.
Right.
So,
a la Brees Hall.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Uh-huh.
So,
yeah.
Next up we have George Pickens, minus 8.32. He is not doing himself any service by having a horrible week a week ago.
Yep.
When he lost interest in the game.
Yeah, no effort. Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened this week.
I mean,
Flournoy outplayed him again.
Yeah,
and Lamb played, right?
I honestly don't remember.
I think Lamb
I didn't
played.
watch. I had it on in the background and really wasn't paying attention because I was like, oh, Dallas's offense is, they're seemingly, aside from Pickens having the bad game, last week and Lamb getting, the concussion or whatever.
Right.
I'm like, oh, Dallas's offense is humming and they're playing Minnesota who, that offense can be the worst offense you've ever seen at times as well. They should win, and then
they lost,
losing.
Yeah. So they made J.J. McCarthy look like a great pick.
Yeah.
Next up, Kareem Hunt, minus 8.
Yeah, not much to say there.
They were horrible. Yeah. First time in 10 years, 11 years that they're out of the playoffs, and
the Chargers.
This is a smiling face because I am so tired of Kansas City.
Yeah, I feel like everybody, if you weren't a Patriots fan, you hated the Patriots. I feel like Kansas City.
I wasn't a Patriots fan, and I didn't mind the Patriots at all. They
to
were
me,
one of my.
Seemed like it was like you either loved them or you just could not stand New England. And to me, it feels like Kansas City is like there's a lot of they're like, okay, yeah, they're good. It's annoying that they're winning these close games.
Well,
and
it
does
like,
seem like the refs
right
tend to fade. It's to me they were more of a nuisance and it's just annoying.
Put it this way: so outside of the Kansas City area, no one likes Kansas City. Outside of the Philadelphia area, no one likes Philly. Outside of the Dallas area, nobody likes Dallas. Mm-hmm. You've got teams. I can't say that outside of Foxborough, no one likes them. And a team like the Packers outside of Green Bay, well, they're one of the most loved teams all around the country.
The world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got those teams that people just hate.
Yeah.
And I don't know that, that New England is necessarily one of those.
Right now, no, but peak Brady.
Well,
I think
there
they
was,
were.
you were tired of them going
Yeah.
every year, but it like last year, I didn't want to watch the Super Bowl because they
Yeah,
were
it's
two
Kansas
teams
City.
that I hate.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like either of them. And or it's like watching a Monday Night Football game, used to be any of the Fox games, where Dumb and Dumber are on. And if you're playing against Dallas, it's like, come on. This is,
Yeah.
you talk so highly of them. No one likes them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get it for Troy because he played for him, but,
So what?
It's like Collinsworth with Mahomes. He just glazes Mahomes every second he can get. But, yeah.
I actually like listening to Collinsworth.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people don't. There are people that I don't mind listening to who struggle with their speech, especially. Oh my God! You don't know. How many times does Romo have to say "especially" before I want to slap him?
I actually like Romo.
I do too.
His analysis, because he's the quarterback, is very like.
It is, but I want to slap him because
watch for this defender to move, and then he immediately does, and you're like you actually learn stuff from listening.
I love
But, yes.
watching or listening to his analysis. I don't like that people who are doing broadcasting can't use the right words, or etc. It's etc. And I know I'm being nitpicky, but please, you guys are professional. This is what you do.
Yep.
And you can't say the right word, especially. Moving on to our waiver wire. It's especially bad today. We've got Kyle Pitts, like I mentioned. If he's available, he may be a good pickup. It's funny. You see that 3 of my guys are tight ends. Well, let's move on to Kirk Cousins next. Kirk played rather well. And if Kyle Pitts is going to have a good game, it's got to be someone throwing him the ball, so it's going to be Kirk Cousins.
That's true. I mean, I wouldn't want to, if you're in playoffs, I wouldn't want to entrust my team. He would be kind of last resort. But I mean, it could work out if Drake London comes back this week. They might.
I mean, it's all situational.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up, I've got Colby Parkinson. He has been hot over the last 6 weeks or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. Like
you
I
mentioned.
said, the 6 touchdowns in 6 weeks, had 2 last week, like 75 yards. I mean, he's getting targets. He's involved in the red zone, So, yeah, could be. I mean, I picked him up in the Yahoo League because I have Tyler Warren. I had played Isaiah Likely and he got me 0, so I'm not even going to give him the chance to do that again. So hopefully Parkinson doesn't do the same thing, but I think he's, especially with Devontae missing the rest of the fantasy season or the regular season for NFL, I think Parkinson's going to be heavily involved going forward still. So.
Right. Next up, Dawson Knox. Kincaid has pretty much, he had an all right game, but Dawson Knox had a really good game this past week.
Yeah, if there's going to be any receiver for Buffalo to have a good game, it's going to be one of the 2 tight ends. It's not going to be a receiver.
Yeah.
Shakir can PPR his way to a good fantasy day.
But in a
it's gonna
non-PPR
it'll be
league.
7 catches for 43 yards,
Right.
and that'll be fine for, a wide receiver 3 flex option.
And then you've got Keon Coleman, who's going to drop 3.
Yeah. So if anybody's going to have a boom week, or beat their projection, it's going to be one of the 2 tight ends. And lately it's been Dawson Knox.
Right. And then my last person is Jalen Naylor. J.J. McCarthy came back, and it's almost like, yes, Jefferson gets his looks. Second on the team in receiving was Addison. 2 catches for 66 yards on, I think, 2 or 3 targets.
Yeah. And the majority of those yards came on, it was like a
58 yard.
Yeah.
And so Naylor keeps on. I don't I don't know if it's because of getting open or he's, he paid off. You can't say that, Ozzy.
Yeah.
No, I think he's just comfortable. I think McCarthy is comfortable throwing him the ball, and if he's your third option,
Yeah.
and you are skipping progressions or you feel pressured,
Yeah, you're not letting the play develop, and
Right.
Naylor's the safety valve,
right? So you're going to throw him the ball.
Yep.
Cost me. I mean, I played Addison too.
Yeah.
I got 6.6 points out of him, which, it wasn't -8 or whatever, but it still wasn't good.
Yep.
Picks of the week. QB. CBS in a standard format says Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert. I'm going Joey Burrow at Miami, 23rd out of 32 teams. Miami looks horrible. Miami looks disinterested.
Yeah, they're a sneaky team though. Their defenses actually, I mean their defense every now and then can, they can hang with some of the better teams. So kind of depends on, which one you get, but it is tough to be a good defense when Tua throws picks and, can't sustain drives or hits a home run,
Right.
Achane rips one, or, there's a Tua actually, connects on a deep ball, and all of a sudden you're back out on the field after 90 seconds, you know. So, yeah. I mean,
and based on what I heard or read about last night's game, they weren't hurrying up. Mm-hmm. They weren't getting plays off quickly. It was the fourth quarter, and they acted like they were up by 10.
Yeah.
So, they seem dysfunctional right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, T. Higgins, hopefully, back next week. I mean, selfishly as a Chase, manager, I hope not, because it seems like whenever T is healthy, he's almost the primary.
The alpha.
Yeah, so, so my start of the week, I'm going Jared Goff against Pittsburgh. In
Pittsburgh outside?
Yep, versus Pitt. Shoot. Didn't think that one through.
Okay.
But
Joe Burrow plays at Miami.
Yeah, that's true.
I always try and look at some of that. I'm like,
especially this time of year.
Yeah.
I didn't think. It doesn't even matter the time of year. Goff always plays better in a dome. It could be, it could be 70 with no wind
outside, and he's going to play better indoors.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm saying.
Yep. Yeah, but I think the Lions still aren't out. There's still a path they can make it into the playoffs. A win this week is going to be one of those, a step towards that. So I think they're really.
I'm hoping they lose.
I mean, yes, as a fan, Packer fans, for the NFC North, yes, obviously. But knowing them, knowing Dan Campbell, they're going to come out. They're going to come out swinging. So.
I hope they poop the bed. Moving on to our running backs, we've got Devon Achane, we've got Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, and Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to go Josh Jacobs at Chicago.
Yeah.
13th against the run. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're good, but there are so many things that that might play into this. The weather, Christian Watson. Whether or not he plays, it's just we got to have something.
Yeah, I mean it was a bad matchup this week against Denver, and he still had 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving. Yeah, he had that. He mossed that guy.
His second receiving touchdown of his career.
Yeah, and it was. Just went up and off the guy's head. Just said,
"Well,"
this
and
is mine.
he put his hands on the ball. The guy swung his hand through, caught a touch of the ball, and he still held on to it. Went out of bounds with it in one hand, and just held it there.
Yeah, that
nice
was
play.
Great. Nice play. So, it's Josh Jacobs. He's going to have. Close to 20 touches a game, so he's going to have opportunities.
And in the weather, it may be more,
if it's
depending
cold,
upon how windy it is.
So he's going to get his, and he'll be just fine.
Yep.
So, like we talked about before, I'm going ETN again. They're playing Denver. So not
Tough
a great
matchup.
matchup, but like I just said, Josh Jacobs just
Yep.
put up a really nice game, and Etienne just had 3 receiving touchdowns, and now
No by Shell Tootin.
his direct backup is going to be out, so now it's LaQuint Allen is going to be the primary backup. So my guess is Etienne's going to get like 98% of all of the running back work in this game.
Yeah.
He's just going to be, and he's been a huge part of the offense lately. He's a good running back. It's just, they kind of go through phases in that offense. It kind of is how Trevor Lawrence comes and goes, and I think, with Lawrence playing the way that he is, they'll be able to challenge Denver down the field, because, you got Pat Surtain, does he take Jacoby Myers or does he take Brian Thomas Jr.? And Brian Thomas Jr. looked, somewhat back to his old self.
Back to himself,
this last week. So it's a tough matchup both ways. I mean, same for the Denver offense against Jacksonville's defense, So this could either be a high-scoring game or it could be a low-scoring game. So, but I think Etienne's just going to be so important to the, for them to move the ball.
Yep.
So.
Moving on to our wide receivers, we've got Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams. So I see why you went with Goff, because both of their wide receivers are and Jameer Gibbs.
I didn't even notice that, but
Jackson Smith and Jigba, Puka Nacua. I'm going to stack like you always like to do, and I'm going Jamar Chase. Now, the thing that gets me here is that Joe Burrow and the quarterback is the 23rd, but wide receivers are 8th against them. So they must give up their passing to running backs and tight ends. I don't know for sure, but I mean, I still like Jamar Chase in this.
Yeah.
I think he's going to say to Burrow, we got to prove something here.
Yeah.
Show people that we're interested.
It might be, were they eliminated this week or?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's carry something into next season.
Yep.
Get, if you're Jamar and T. Higgins, I mean, there's the question mark now.
Give them the reason to keep you.
Exactly. Because you could go either way on the conference that he had last week. It goes, could he be traded or is he just going to walk away? Is he going to pull an Andrew Luck and just walk away? Because he's always rehabbing injuries because they can't protect him.
And I'm sure he's got enough money.
It's a he definitely has enough money. As a whole, I mean, the organization, the ownership,
right.
The GM, my guess, Zach Taylor, their coach, is probably going to be gone by the end of the season here, even though he's got a year left on his contract. And just, again, like you said, I agree. If you're Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, if you want to, you guys got paid all this money to stay in Cincinnati. Right. If Burrow decides he's just done or they move him, you're like, oh, what's next for us? So
rookie.
Yeah, rookie or Joe Flacco.
Journeyman.
So Jameis Winston would be pretty cool to see with those two.
Wendy?
Oh my God, that would be crazy. That would be insane.
Okay, you take a left at the Subaru and you go toward the Tesla. I'll hit one of you, but make sure you go 75 yards first. Because I'm going to dance around back here.
Yeah. So, my start of the week, I'm going to go with Ladd McConkey. I think it's going to be a get-right game here against Dallas. I mean, they're coming off a big win against Kansas City. Their defense looked great. Obviously Dallas's offense is sputtering a little bit. Especially. I mean, Minnesota I think has a solid defense, but they are beatable. But Dallas is still the best matchup for wide receivers.
Yep.
So the easiest matchup for wide receivers. So I think McConkey gets back on track here. It's just they've got kind of the two-headed monster going on with Vidal and Hampton, with Hampton being back. But, I really think that Herbert's going to kind of, he's just going to take over, and they're going to make a real good push here at the end of the year to lock up a high seed in the playoffs potentially.
Yep. And our tight ends, Trey McBride, George Kittle. Trey McBride? I don't know what I did there. Forgot to put someone in there. Brock Bowers and Darren Waller. And I am going Dallas Goedert at Washington. Mm-hmm. Yep, not a great matchup weather-wise, but
Yeah.
They are the 30th ranked. So, I mean, and I considered going with Saquon, but I think Goddard. I think it's going to be Saquon, Hurts, and Goddard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think A.J. Brown will necessarily play into it as much, mainly because of the weather.
Yeah.
Possibly playing a factor.
Yeah.
So the shorter passes, and the running by both Hurts and Saquon, I think, is what's going to.
And they did that little touch inside pitch that counts as a pass, to Goddard. So, and he had a really good game this week too.
Yeah.
So I think in the one, I've got him in one of the dynasty leagues. He had like 25 points. So, he kind of hot and cold as the as Jalen Hurts goes, really. But there's certain weeks where it just seems like he's the number one for the offense. It's like it's game planned that way. So, if it's bad weather, keep it close to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Obviously we know as of late, basically all season, Jalen Hurts has struggled with anything over 15 air yards down the field to put an accurate pass on somebody. So
I thought you were going to say 15 inches.
Sometimes it feels that way.
Which is why he does the little touch pass.
Yes, exactly. So, and then my start of the week, I'm going Colby Parkinson.
I like
hand. We've kind of talked about it, at length too, but just Devontae being out, there's a need, there's vacated targets. Usually when there's vacated targets, it goes to the tight end, or the majority of it goes to the tight end. It's Seattle, and that's a Thursday night game. This is too good of a matchup for a Thursday night game. This game to me should be
I would rather
Sunday night,
but some of the Thursday night games you get are so bad that you don't even want to watch them.
That's true.
I mean,
it's Thursday night. That's like the expectation now is that they're going to be bad. But,
okay. And what are you doing?
Saying,
what are you doing Saturday night?
Well, I'll be watching the Packer game.
Okay.
I mean, I forgot that there's two games on Saturday.
Are there? What's the other one?
I don't remember, but I know there are. Once you said that, there's two games on Saturday. So but like I said, he's going to be part of it. They use him in the red zone. He's the first read on some plays and stuff. So.
Yep. Well, that's all we've got for this week. Hopefully, say what?
I said we got through it.
Yep, we got through it. Hopefully, you're still in your playoffs. Yep. If not, you can look at see how the winners do it. I'm
chasing my first title here in the main Yahoo league. So
I was chasing my
15
eighth.
years.
I was chasing my eighth and got stunted by waiver wires. So I'm Ozzy.
And I'm Austin.
Have a great week.
See ya.